This all started back when I was in college. I was at a New Year's party with a couple of friends on campus. We did the usual New Year's stuff like watching the ball drop and eating lots of food till we were too full to eat anymore. And when it was time to go, we said our goodbyes and parted separate ways. Since I lived with my parents who were out of town, I didn't live on campus, so my house was about 20 minutes away. Around halfway through the trip, I noticed a black BMW with tinted windows who had seemingly been behind me for a little while. I was starting to get anxious, so I decided to take a turn into a random neighborhood. When I saw the car turn on their blinker to turn also, I started to freak out. I didn't think that they were going to turn with me, but I decided I wasn't going to call the cops because maybe this was their neighborhood. So I exited the neighborhood quickly. I had a moment of relief because the car had not exited with me. I made my way home and jumped into my bed, not worrying about showering or anything like that, because it was 12:30 in the morning. Just when I was about to fall asleep, I heard a car coming down the street. I just thought it was also someone coming back from a party, but when the headlights stopped and rested fixed on my house, I started to worry. I gathered enough courage to roll out of bed and peer through the window. What I saw was horrifying. It was the same BMW that was following me. My initial thought was not to call the police or hide, but to check the locks on the doors and windows. I tiptoed down to the front door. It was already locked. I couldn't help but look at the car again. I froze. The person got out of the car and started walking towards the door. I ran to lock the back door, then hid. I heard the man messing with the lock, but he couldn't open the door. I could hear him go around to the back door, which was thankfully locked. I could hear the sounds of him fade away, and the car zoomed off. I came out of the hiding spot and dialed 911 for reassurance. They never detained the person, and to this day they could still be out there. It was New Year's, and I was with a new friend from school that was new to the city, so I invited him to my house since my parents were out at a fancy hotel for New Year's. When he got here, I greeted him, and he thanked me for inviting him. We just ate food while watching Netflix till the last couple minutes before the ball dropped. An hour later, the ball was about to drop, so we counted down together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year's. But just as the ball dropped, we both turned around and looked at the back door because we heard a loud pop, almost like a gunshot. He went out to look outside, but he didn't see anything. So he went inside and gathered his things, said thank you and goodbye, and walked home. 2 minutes later, I begin to clean up, but instantly I hear frantic knocking at my door. I wanted to freeze up, but I manned up and looked outside. It was my friend. He looked terrified and was breathing heavily, so I opened the door for him, and he instantly took my arm, ran up to my room, and told me to be quiet. I wanted to ask what happened, but before I did, I heard the door get kicked open. I froze up and was still as a corpse. My friend whispered to me that he already called 911, but I didn't know if it even mattered because he was coming up the stairs, so we hid in my walk-in closet. He kicked open my door, and I saw his ugly face, with the edges of his lips stapled to his cheeks, and eyes that looked like he hasn't blinked in a year. I started to tear up, but as I did, he stared right at me, and my heart dropped. He walked towards my closet, but before he could take another step, I heard the police yell that they were coming inside. The man threw his knife at the window, shattering it, and jumped out. Me and my friend ran out of the room with our hands up, and the cops led us to their car where they promised us we were safe. Me and my friend both called our parents, where they rushed to my house, but we saw the man handcuffed by 2 police officers and shoved into the police car. When my parents arrived home, they talked to officers. I overheard the cops say that the man's intention was to kill me and my friend both. We never knew the reason to this. Till this day, I still wonder what would have happened if the police arrived a second later, but luckily they arrived as fast as they did.